Hi there, I'm Jack Berry, and we're here to talk about Ireland, Irish golf, and it's some of the greatest links courses in the world. You know, the Irish are famous for great writers like Shaw, James Joyce, Yeats, great actors, Liam Neeson, Pierce Brosnan, Maureen O'Hara, great musicians, Bono, U2, Chieftains, Enya. They're all artists over there, and they are definitely artists in designing golf courses, bringing them out of the land that the Lord gave them so many centuries ago. And if you wonder why Ireland is so green, it's because nature has given them a little bit of help, a little Irish mist now and then to keep those courses green. Across the northern part of Ireland, from County Donegal, which is in the Republic, it's the most northwesternmost county in Ireland, to across through Northern Ireland, which is part of Britain, through over to all the way over to County Down. You got the Atlantic going up across the top and over a little bit of the Irish Sea on the east by Royal County Down. In Donegal, there are two fine spots with two wonderful golf courses each. I played them on successive days. I played 8 courses in 6 days on my last golf trip to Ireland. Had a wonderful time. Rosa Penna is a nice resort owned by Frank Casey, who started out washing dishes at the resort and worked his way all the way up so that he now owns it. And he has 2 fine golf courses. The first one was the old course in the 1890s by old Tom Morris, and then James Braid and Harry Varden had their hand in it along the way. And the second course is quite recent. Pat Ruddy, who is Ireland's newest brilliant golf course designer. And they are the old course, the first 9 holes by the Morris are still terrific holes, but the second 9 wasn't quite as good. We ran across some old donkey paths or cart paths or whatever, and now there are roads going through there and made it a little bit difficult. So Pat Ruddy has added 9 more holes, and the hole 18 that he did, Sandy Hills, are some of the most spectacular holes that I think I've ever played. Right deep in the big sand hill dunes, just marvelous holes with deep bunkers. Some of you have to even go out sideways or backwards, and good sizable greens. It's just a delight to play. And right just not that far away, takes a little bit longer. It doesn't look very far, but it takes you longer to drive on the 2-lane roads there, twisty roads, is Ballyliffin. And that is famous for the Glashedy Rock, just about 2 miles offshore there, and that's Ireland's answer to Scotland's Ailsa Crag. The first course, again, an old course. Always called the first one the old course. And Nick Faldo, in his first trip over there, was enamored of the layout and just gave him some ideas of how it could be improved. They needed some new tees and some working on the bunkering, and so that's been in the process. And their second course by Pat Ruddy, and that's called Glashedy, after the rock out in the ocean. And it is a marvelous course. It's not as much in real deep dunes the way his course over at Rosa Penna is, but it's very delightful. Starts out a little bit flat, and then it works its way in among the hills, the sand hills, and some great views there. Gets some elevation. And then moving a little bit farther east, over into Northern Ireland, just a very short distance apart, are Castle Rock, Port Stewart, and Royal Portrush, and those are just three marvelous courses. Castle Rock is kind of typical of a lot of the courses over in the United Kingdom and in Ireland, where they have a railroad track running right alongside of about three holes, and the rumply kind of bumpy fairways that go this way and that way, and it's a ground game there. You kind of bounce it and run it up onto the greens. And then Port Stewart has perhaps the most awesome starting hole I think that I've ever seen. It goes right between, it's a par 4, dogleg right between these enormous sand hills, and it follows up with some neat holes through dunes, and then winds up. The second 9 is over more towards, you see the River Bann. You're going from the Atlantic Ocean over to one of the actually the longest river in Northern Ireland, and quite a fishing river farther downstream. Next to Portstewart is Royal Portrush, which is the only course outside that has held the British Open outside of Scotland and England. And that was back in the 1950s. Max Faulkner won. Since then, they've had 6 senior British Opens on the Dunluce course. Dunluce is named after the castle, that's an old castle ruin that's just to the east. They also have another course called the Valley Course inside, and it's really a lot of fun to play. It's a little bit shorter, but it's outstanding. Golf Digest recently named their top 100 courses outside of the United States. 3 of those courses in the top 10 are in Ireland, and 2 of them are in the north. Royal Portrush was number 3, and just after the old course at St. Andrews and Royal Melbourne, Portrush is number 3, and Royal County Down was just behind it. And then Ballybunion down on the southwest side was number 7. So I think that just shows you how outstanding these courses are in Ireland. One of my all-time favorites is Royal County Down. And you can see the harp and the crown. It's one of just a superior golf course, wonderful experience to play there. I played there on days that a friend of mine, Ivan McMichael, he has kind of a slap shot swing, which is real good in the wind. I took a picture of him, and his clothes were standing straight out as though they'd been starched. But I played there on beautiful sunny days, and when the sea just sparkles, the Irish Sea, it's a marvelous experience. But the Mourne Mountains are kind of a backdrop to the course. Slieve Donard, which is the biggest mountain, and it's even the name of the old red stone hotel that dates back to Victorian times. And Royal County Down is just an outstanding golf course, so much so that every time the big American tour players go over to the other side to play the British Open, invariably they stop in Ireland to play the Irish links courses. And Tiger Woods was there a few years ago, his first trip to Royal County Down, and the secretary of the club said, well, he was somewhere over 80. And so it tells you a little bit about how difficult it is. But the next time, Tiger finished eagle, birdie, birdie, and the secretary said he was approximately 64 on that round. But that's typical of Royal County Down. What a wonderful course! How much it's admired by all the great players in the world. Also in the north, there are a couple of the places that when you go there, you do not want to miss. Number 1 is Bushmills, one of that fine distillery in this little village of Bushmills that's been there for eons, it seems like, and you can get a tour, and you can even do a little taste testing in there. As a matter of fact, I won a taste test contest in there. So those were my days when I could still consume wheat-based or grain-based libations. And nearby is one of the wonders of the world is the Giant's Causeway. These enormous stone basalt that came up from the bottom of the sea in a volcanic reaction, and they're like squares. They stick up these stalks of celery or something that would come up out of the sea, and you don't want to go walking on them when the ocean is rushing in on them. They get pretty slippery, but there are thousands of them, and it's an incredible sight, and they have a very good visitor center there that tells you all about it. Also in the north area is Glens of Antrim, that beautiful hills in the deep valleys, also in the northeastern part of Northern Ireland, where Liam Neeson came from. Darren Clark's from up in that neck of the woods also. And one other spot in the north that I would recommend is the Balik China factory over on the western part of Northern Ireland, and you can drop a few bucks there in a hurry. Beautiful china that's nice tours, and you see them actually doing all this stuff by hand. I have quite a large collection of my own. And I hope you enjoyed our tour of Northern Ireland and County Donegal.